On the county map, it's called Old Fen Road. It runs north of Ashwood, skirting the edge of a ravine locals call the Cut. A narrow stretch of pavement where the land drops away without warning and the trees grow close enough to narrow the sky. If you grew up here, Old Fen Road is one of your earliest memories. Someone told you about it. There was always a story attached. Not the same story, just the same location. Someone said a girl walked it late at night and didn't know how she got there. Someone else said cars stalled for no apparent reason. Someone swore voices of loggers, long gone, carried up from the ravine when there was no one below. None of the stories ever landed cleanly. That made them better. Kids went out there because they were told not to. Parents warned them away from the road without quite explaining why. Police mentioned it casually, not as a threat, more like an inconvenience. Don't go drinking out there. Stay away from that road at night. There's nothing for you out there. That was enough, usually. Old Fen Road became a test. You drove it late, just to say you had. You turned the radio off. Sometimes the headlights, too, for longer than felt smart. You didn't expect anything to happen. You just wanted to see if it would. Over time, the name began to drift. On official records, it stayed Old Fen Road. In conversation, it changed. Hollow Road, the Fen Cut, that road north of town. No one corrected each other. Everyone knew which place you meant. Part of the reason was jurisdiction. Old Fen Road doesn't clearly belong to anyone. Town patrols thin out. County oversight picks up, then fades again. There's no sign marking the change. No boundary that says someone is watching this now. It's just understood that the rules soften out there. For years, the road existed mostly in story. Warnings, dares, late-night drives that ended in laughter or relief. And then, gradually, the stories began to intersect with record. A person last seen walking home from nowhere. A found car, 30 years out of date. Search records that can never quite pin down a starting point. Later, there were reappearances. People found alive, unhurt, unable to explain why they were there, increasingly unsure of who they are. This episode isn't about proving the stories were true. It's about how a place becomes charged long before anything measurable happens there, and what occurs when legend, warning, and authority all point in the same direction. Not because they know something, but because no one ever quite did. Follow along in this series as I explore the uncanny and unexplained of this small Ohio town. There is much more to uncover. I'm Evie Ross. This is Absentia. Welcome to Ashwood.